shredded.
Yeah.
So fucking.
Because I do so much cardio and shit. Like, even if I eat like 3,500 calories a day, I'm not gaining weight, really. You know?
So lucky, man.
Not really.
Because, bro.
If I want to get like big and jacked and shit, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all.
Not easy, huh?
No.
But Ryle can fucking balloon up. Ryle.
Remember when he was fat as fuck for a while? He's in really good shape right now, actually.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like pretty shredded and jacked and shit.
He's shredded?
Yeah, bro.
Cause
He's like 6-pack, fucking chest.
No way.
Yeah,
he has
man.
a 6-pack.
Yeah, bro.
He's, dude. No, he does.
He does. I swear on my life. And remember how fucking fat he was?
Yeah, fucking him and Human, man. They were both. Human got fucking juiced at one point. Remember that?
Juice. He must have been, right?
I don't know.
Or is he just like...
He'll never tell you he was, though.
Ever.
Never.
The funniest part, though, is like... I don't know. Maybe because he's like... Well, how tall is he? 5 foot...
4 5 fucking 4.
I don't know.
Fucking, no, he's like 5'7". Rhett Gibbons, pro boxer, on the pod today, man.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, bro.
Appreciate you coming on, bro. Fuck. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, man, it's been a bit.
Yeah. Fuck, see, I don't like the introduction shit, man. It gets all weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't gotta make it weird, bro.
That's why we just go into it. I don't know. Fucking, that's how you been, bro?
I've been good, man. Just been basically following the fight game, man.
Following the fight game?
Yeah. Boxing.
Bro, I want to get into like how we fucking know each other, because that's a fucking, I mean, it's not that cool of a story, but
it's back in the day.
Yeah. Fucking, yeah, I mean, I knew you from Human, our mutual friend.
Yeah.
And Ryle, your older brother. So you're the youngest of 2 brothers, obviously.
Youngest of 3. Yeah.
3 brothers, sorry.
And I have an older sister, actually, too. You probably don't know that, though. Nobody knows that, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
How much older?
I don't know. She's probably like 12 years older than me. Something like that.
12 years?
Yeah. My dad's daughter.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Shit. So, bro, I know. Okay, so I remember, like, I used to, like, hang out with, like, Ryle a lot, like, your older brother, the second oldest, and he was a feisty fucker.
Yeah.
I remember you used to get into a lot of shit. Like, I feel like your whole family does, though.
Yeah. We're all 3 of us were like that. But the thing is like, so people talk a lot about, like, have you ever heard someone say things like nature versus nurture?
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's genuinely in all 3 of our nature to be that way. Because if you met both of my parents, they're both, like, my dad's a super aggressive guy and my mom is like a pretty feisty woman. So you have 3 boys. It's like,
it makes sense that you guys are fucking.
Yeah, bro. Like, my household was like for me, it was regular, but I think for other kids coming over, like, hostile environment. You know
a little bit, yeah.
So,
because I remember
just the way we were.
I know, because I remember, bro, like, even just like hanging out with Ryle and shit, and we were like, me and him were cool, like we were buddies, and then I would do something, I would say something, and he'd be like, yo.
Yeah, he'd go
like,
off.
chill out. Like, yeah, he would put me in check. Like, yo, I'm about to beat your ass if you say that again. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I remember you'd come in, like, we were, like, hanging out. We were watching a movie or something. It was Gladiator, I remember. And you come in, like, hanging out. And I didn't really know you, but, like, you were confident. Like, I could tell, like, you were just, like, talking all the time, like, saying whatever you wanted to say. I'm like, yo, and for me, I was like, who the fuck is, like, like, I knew he was Ryle's little brother, so I wasn't gonna, like, be like, yo, shut up, or, like, so, I mean, bro, like, I guess, like, because I didn't know, you told me off air that you've been into boxing since you were 4.
So I started kickboxing when I was 4. I started kickboxing when I was 4 years old, and both of my brothers were also training at the time. So, and my dad was training. And And I was like kickboxing till I was about like 10, from 4 till 10 maybe, or 9. And then I started doing, I took some time away from that. I was playing basketball for a little bit with school and shit like that.
Oh, shit.
Played football a little bit. And then I went back into fighting. I did some MMA from like 13 to 14. And then 14, or maybe, yeah, till I was like 14. And then I wasn't really into it. I just like kind of fell out of it. You know, when you're a teenager, life kind of like, it's hard, right? Like you're doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's hard to like stay committed to something like that when you got all this shit going on. And then I started boxing, just like straight up boxing when I was 18. And that's like stuck with it.
Do you think growing up with 2 older brothers that are fucking like rough around the edges, like tough dudes, did it get you, like, what were some of the things that were happening around the house that toughened you up? Because bro, the thing is, I'm an only child.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. And there's so many people that have like older sisters or you know, like just like what actually happens in a fucking, when you're the youngest out of 2 older brothers that are like,
so like everyone, especially in my house, me and my brothers were always fighting for position, you know? So it was not a lot of like, oh, Connor's the oldest, give him respect or whatever. Like the fact that he was the oldest and the biggest, like probably made me challenge him a lot more than like I think a regular person would do. Just because like we just like, I'll break it down for you. So even with, one day my dad showed up. This is like what our house was like. One day my dad showed up to the house and he brought us like a bunch of MMA gloves, like UFC gloves, right? And we were like, oh, these are sick. And we're trying them on. We're punching the bag. We had like a punching bag and shit downstairs. And he's like, yeah, like, looks at me like, you think you could take him? About my older brother, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you should fight him, you know? So he puts all 3 of us in this room. And there's like no furniture in that room at the time. And we just, all 3 of us just started like brawling, like hard.
At the fucking same time. Just not even like,
just all 3
like
of
2-on-1,
us.
fuck
I
you.
was punching Ryle, Connor like cheap shot me. Like it was just crazy, right? So we just like, fighting is just like in our blood like that, man. Like our dad raised us that way. And our mom supported it.
You know? That's crazy. Bro, like you don't see that in North Van though. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's very like.
There's, you know, the thing with North Van is like, I've seen a couple sides to it, you know, where there's the typical side and then like there's
side where it actually,
where there's like a lot of people that are like really actually, you know, like fucked up, you know, like crazy shit, a lot of crazy shit that you wouldn't really expect to go on because it's not super out in the open all the time, you know, but I mean, I don't think especially now, but when we were growing up in North Van, like there was a ton of crime going on around us, you know?
Bro, it's almost getting worse, I feel, bro.
Really?
Like you hear about these like these stabbings and these shootings, and recently
that was going on forever though, man.
It's always happening, huh?
Yeah, man, like I mean like
North Van does a pretty good job of like hiding it. Like they sweep it under the cover real quick.
Yeah, like they didn't even know what, it was never in the paper, the news or anything. And like when we were like 18, one of my friends got killed and he was left in, you know where the superstore is?
Yeah, right beside Cat.
He was left in the river right there and he was killed when he was 18. And his eyes were taken out and shit.
No way.
Yeah, dude. No one put it in the paper, nothing like that. So it was a kind of crazy growing up there for me.
Bro, could you imagine that being in the paper? Like people in North Van fucking just.
I know. But that's like what we like, because we were like, I was a Keith Lynn kid, right? I went to Keith Lynn and.
Did you? You were Keith Lynn?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man, those kids were like, those were like the quote unquote like delinquents. Like I remember like.
If you come out of juvie, you go to Keith Lynn if you're in North Van. Right?
You didn't go to juvie.
No.
Did you?
No.
But you could have. Very well.
I was on probation for a while, but yeah.
I mean, you can't talk about that, right? No chance.
I mean, I was never found guilty of anything.
So okay, like it makes sense because last week when like Henry and Migo came on, we were talking about fighting. You're not just a boxer, you're a fighter. You know what I mean? Like you could like get into like, could you see yourself getting into MMA and like?
I love MMA. Yeah, I love it. I'm not one of those guys who's like boxing or MMA or wrestling or this. You know what I mean? I like it. I like all sorts of fighting. Like I'll watch jiu-jitsu or I'll watch Muay Thai. But I fell in love with boxing like by far the most, right? Like when I think like one of the first clips I saw that like really made me love boxing was Floyd Mayweather fought this guy named Philip Indu, and he's like shoulder rolling, and my brother showed me, he's like, yo, check this shit out. And I'd never seen someone do like a shoulder roll before to block a punch, right? And like the first time I saw that, it just like captivated me. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, how does he do that? And I'm trying to practice and I'm getting beat up all the time trying to do that, right? And like, so I started following like this Floyd Mayweather guy, his character and his fights, and going on YouTube and looking him up. And then, you know, I'm like, oh man, like this guy's like crazy, you know, like he's a really good fighter. And so like I've probably watched almost all of Floyd's fights like 4 times, like all of them, the full thing.
Bro, his personality too. It's just
he's good with the camera. He's a good character, you know. He knows how to put on.
It's crazy how why do you think he never like got caught up in the, like he never lost his chip, you know, like because he was getting money, right? He was already getting the bag. Like every fight he had, he was making fucking millions. And you see so like fucking Conor McGregor, like he's losing it. Like he lost all his fucking fire, all his fucking
Floyd is like, he's just, that's the thing that to me, and honestly, I didn't even realize that until I got older. Like what you just said there, like how so many people have made money in especially in fighting, because you don't see it as much in other sports too, right? Like I don't watch a ton of other sports, but you don't hear about like LeBron James going off and destroying his life, but you hear about it with like a lot of fighters.
Not even destroying his life, just like stop caring and just not even
like look at Mike Tyson or Conor McGregor, or like there's a lot of instances with fighters where they make a lot of money and it kind of ruins them, right? I think it might be a bit of a personality type or something, but with Floyd is like, that's like one of the most fascinating things about the guy is like, imagine having that discipline. What could you not accomplish? Greatest boxer of all time, like in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So
didn't lose
and made it look pretty easy, you know, fighting world champions over and over and over and over again. People can hate on his resume, but it's like, well, that's one thing about, it's like, man,
bro, but how come no one imitates his like shoulders thing? Like why don't more boxers do that?
That's not his thing actually. That's actually that used to be called the Philly shell, but it's actually like a Midwest boxing style, right? He learned it from his dad. But if you look up a guy named James Toney or Azard Charles, or like there's a lot of old school fighters, that was like the way they used to all block, right? You tuck your chin into your shoulder, you roll, and you catch and shoot. You can see in one of my fights on Instagram, I'm sitting in the pocket and the guy throws a couple shots and I roll with my shoulder and then I catch him with a hook, right? It's really tough to get good at it. Really tough. You have to have such good timing, distance, you know?
Dude, boxing's different. It's fucking different.
It's tough.
I don't know if you know, I started recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, like training, not like
where at?
My boy Henry. Just like personal training and shit. I used to watch fights all the time, bro, like Canelo and shit, like Floyd, and I'm like, bro, like they get so close to each other, but they don't hit each other. I'm like, why are you not hitting him? It just looks so. I'm always like, what the fuck? Just swing, man. Like you're that close, just do it.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy, man. It's not. And I sparred Henry a few times, just like he was probably going like 20%.
Yeah.
And he clipped me with like a jab, bro. Like the slightest like fucking
I love how you
tap.
said he clipped you with a jab.
I know.
Too,
But
yeah.
he like legit just went like that.
Yeah.
And I went boom. And then in that moment, I was like, okay, like, you know, either I'm the biggest pussy or like this box, like, you know, it's like it's like a fight or flight type thing. And
yeah. It's like out of any sport that I've played, it's the toughest.
Can you develop that? Like, can you develop the fact that the feeling of not being afraid, or is it sort of something like you need to have it in you to be a boxer? Because obviously not a lot of people do combat, right? I already know I already know you. I can already tell like you have it in you, but do you think you can develop that where you just become fearless? And
it's not a fearless thing. It's not like I don't think you ever fully become fearless. Because even if I'm not afraid of you, I'm afraid of letting myself down. Some people, like when you go into a fight, it's like, I'm not afraid that you're going to hurt me. I'm afraid that I'm not going to do well for me as my performance. You know what I mean? There's always going to be some type of fear when you go and perform. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So, but one thing that I'm a firm believer in is like, you can't teach heart, but you can learn it. You know? So, I can't teach you how to have heart, right? But if you put yourself in the fire and you start learning, okay, like I got my ass beat today, but I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to do better. Like you can learn it, right? I can't teach you. You have to do it for yourself.
I think it's easier said than done for you though, bro, because what you said before, how like your dad literally bought you guys MMA gloves and just made you guys like go at it. Right? Like a lot of kids don't grow up that way, right? Like a lot of, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
You're cut from a different cloth when you're, you know.
Yeah.
And your mom is also like, yeah, like get the boys fucking going.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them fucking throwing hands.
Yeah. She's really like that.
So for you, I feel you're basically numb to the, you know, just the anxiety of, you know, getting hit. Right? Because
no, that's not true. Because like, so especially I actually had to develop that because I remember one time my bro punched me so hard, bro, like rocked me really bad, right? And I like remember the feeling of it. He hit me and like my jaw went and like I fell to the ground, like almost knocked me out, right? And I was like, oh shit, there's people that can like really hurt me. Cause I thought, you know, being young, like especially I was really young, I was like 12 or something, and I was like energetic and loud and I think I'm tough and this, and boom, he just like put me in my place, right? And anytime I was gonna get into a street fight, I would get worried about like, am I gonna get hurt, you know?
that happening. What?
Yeah.
Happening.
Like, is this a guy who has that kind of punch on him who's gonna like drop me or whatever, right? But like when I started to learn how to fight with like real legit boxers like Manny Sobral, Tony Pep, like Tony Pep fought Floyd Mayweather and I trained with him for a year every day. Or like Manny Sobral, he was on the Olympic team of, what was it, 86, I think? Same one as Roy Jones, I think, and Lennox Lewis. And training with him, right? It's like you have to learn. You can take an ass beating and keep fighting, you know? So it's like the worst part isn't the ass beating. The worst part is giving up because you know you can. Like everyone's capable of it. I've seen guys who are like, I'm like, yo, you're not made for this shit, you know? And then they become good fighters after a couple years, you know? Because they just keep showing up.
Really? So you think you can develop it?
Yeah. 100%. I've seen it multiple times. Like with guys who I thought were not cut out to be a fighter.
It's obviously though if you're willing to develop it, right?
Yeah, man.
If you're willing to
want it, right?
Yeah. If you're willing to get fucking smoked in the head.
Look, there's gonna be two guys in a ring. Who wants it more? Every day. That's what it is. Because at the end of the day, if you go to boxing every day, you're gonna end up in the ring with someone. So there's always going to be two guys in the ring at the end of the day with you. Do you want it more than him or not? That's it. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it sucks. Shoulder injuries, hand injuries, elbow injuries, you know, my knee injury, running, training, getting your ass beat. But do you want to be a good fighter? Do you want to be able to look back and say, like, I did that with everything I have? That's how you got to get good at fighting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way. There's no other way, right?
Right.
In my opinion.
How do you go into a fight though? Do you think the worst, do you tell yourself the worst case scenario is I get my shit rocked and I'm lights out? Like, that's the ultimate worst case scenario, and I wake up after and then life goes on, right? Like, is there like, because for me, if I was to step into a ring right now, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not even fucking close.
Yeah.
I would think, okay, I'm scared. I'm really scared.
Accept it. Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
But the ultimate worst thing that could happen to me is I get a little bit of brain damage, which isn't good.
You'll bounce back.
I'll bounce back. Like, I'll get knocked out, go to sleep, and I'll wake up, and then
the body's pretty resilient. Yeah.
Right.
You'll be all right.
Is that like? I mean, is there a certain mindset you go into a fight with?
The thing about it is this. So if you were to step into a ring, you've never gone through the process of a training camp, right?
Okay, yeah. Take me through that. Take me through that. I like that.
There's things you have to do every day. Let's say, like, run at this time, eat this amount of calories, drink this much water, box this time. You know, like, there's like a checklist every day. You need to be checking those off, right? The less that you're checking those off, the less confident you become closer to the fight. And by the time you get to that fight, you're going to know, I didn't do everything I could to win this fight. So and if the guy that I'm fighting did, I'm probably going to lose. You know? So if you did do all the stuff that you were supposed to do, you go into that fight thinking, I'm ready. I know I can beat this guy. I already beat myself every day. Every time I didn't want to do that shit and I did it, it made me stronger to step into the ring that night. So it's like months of beating yourself every day.
Sparring.
Yeah.
Punching other people, getting punched.
Getting beat up. You know, like, you could be a way better fighter than someone, and some days they beat the shit out of you in sparring. Like, I used to take that so personal, bro. So personal. Like, if someone beat my ass in sparring, I'd go home and I would just be pissed. Like, throw my fucking gloves, kick them, like fuck, like, just like lose my shit. But the thing is like, I don't need, as I've grown older and, you know, been around the sport longer and, like, seriously been around it, I don't have to say me and you were sparring and you beat me up that day. Well, I'm probably going to get you back, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
You might not.
Eventually.
You might.
Well, I will. Trust me, I will. And the thing is, though, is like, but I don't have to beat you because we're not fighting, you know? Sparring is like, because guys go hard in sparring. Like, sometimes guys will try to knock you out, you know? And it's like, it's easy to take that personal, but sometimes you got to remember is like, that's not the fight. So don't take that personal. Oh, okay, I didn't do this right today or that right today. I'm going to do it better next time we spar. And just take it like that. Don't let it get to you. I used to let that shit, like, really get to me, man. You know? So now, you could beat the hell out of me in sparring, and I just don't even take it personal. I'm like, I guess I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or now I know what to do better next time I spar. So,
yeah,
no hard feelings.
Don't you get worried about that when you might get hurt in sparring? And, you have to be, right? Because that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, it's happened to me. Like, I blew my eardrum before my last fight. My eardrum was blown, like, completely.
You didn't tell anyone?
No.
Right.
Like, the doctor looked in it and he was like, Did you put a Q-tip? Yeah, he's like, did you put a Q-tip way too far into your ear? And I was like, Oh yeah, yeah.
You start
He's like,
fucking going in, just jackhammering the shit out of your.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was just like, yeah, man, because like you have to do physicals before you fight, right?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I think so. He's like, yeah, don't do that. He's like, it's really damaged. I'm like, oh, okay.
Dude, you could go deaf.
Yeah. But I'm
If
good
you get
now.
hit in the fucking ear, like how did that happen? The guy just
sparring? Yeah.
The guy just rocked you in the ear.
Yeah, it was just like a timing thing. It happened actually, like the first time it happened was a long time ago, and I wasn't wearing any headgear. And it's not like the fact that I was like drenched in sweat and whatever. I feel like some water kind of got in my ear while I got hit, and it created like a suction or something, and it just went boom and just blew my eardrum like completely, like weem. And I just like keep a straight face, like nothing happened, like, right? Yeah.
Trying to like.
And then later I'm like, yeah, man, I think my ear's a little fucked up. And then it happened again recently.
If you told the promotion or the coach, if your coach, would they have had to take you out of the card? Is that like protocol?
The doctors can't. No, that's the thing. Like promotion wants it to happen. Coaches, the thing is, so the promotion, I have a good team with the promotion and everything, but typically this is how it goes, right? Like you're a product, right? And they're risking a lot of money promoting you and putting it up. So they don't want you to pull out of a fight. You know, so if they don't tell them if there's an issue, settle it with your coaches and some type of private doctor or whatever. And if you're really fucked up, like probably don't fight, but your promotion doesn't want to hear that, right? Because then it's like, imagine that they sunk like $100,000 into a show and you're the main event, okay? And then a week later, they go, or a week before the fight, you go, fuck man, my eardrum's blown, I can't fight. They just lost $100K. You think that they're gonna?
Could they replace you with someone else or no?
In a week, they could try. You know what I mean? And then it's like they're gonna be.
But $100K is gone to shit.
Someone, then they have to fly someone up, or like you never know, right? But it's like, okay, so these guys just lost a bunch of money. Do you think they're gonna call you back to be on their show?
Right.
They won't.
So the $100K is for you.
I'm just making an example
of
the show, right? If you're the main event, right? The show will probably still go on, right? Possibly, but let's say the main event, that's where the reason most people show up to watch, right? So it's like, oh, main event canceled. Well, a lot of people might be like, oh, well, that fight has the most rounds and that's the most intense fight.
That's who we came to watch,
other
bro.
guys.
Like, yeah.
Can I get a refund? Next thing you know, now they're trying to, oh no, you know what I mean? It's just a headache, right? So if you're injured, you should probably figure it out early and like get on that.
What did your doctor say? Was he recommending you not to fight? Obviously,
right? He didn't make the biggest deal out of it, which was good with me. You know, we just kind of like.
You basically put it like, yo, it's your decision. Like,
yeah. Kind of like, are you good? Like, is your ear okay? I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an issue with it, but I knew, obviously.
Bro, sometimes though, like your coach, like
coach would be like, yo,
he's got to take care of you though, right?
Yeah, he would say don't fight.
He would tell you, he would say don't fight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then after the fact, you told your coach, like, yo, by the way, I couldn't hear out of my left ear for fucking damn near a month.
Yeah.
Was he pissed? Was he pissed though?
He'll probably find out right now if he's watching this.
You didn't even tell him. He's finding out right now, live, probably.
Watching, yeah.
Would he be pissed?
I don't know. He would probably just I mean, bro, it's a fight game, bro.
If it's an injury where it affects you like for your life, like your fucking hearing out of your left ear, then I would be like, if I was your coach, I'd be like, dude, this is your life. This is fuck a fight, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's how they are too, right? That's exactly how it is too, right? And they like coaches look out for you like an older brother or a father or whatever, right? Like they're like,
they need to.
You're like, fuck this fight, fuck the promoters. We'll get you a new fight. We'll get you a new. But me, I want to fight. And if I'm thinking, yeah, I'm good, then I'm probably good. But
you don't know that.
Me.
Yeah, that's
me.
you. You don't know that.
Right?
You're different.
Like, I fought a guy. I fought one of my last. I lost 2 fights ago. I fucking had COVID 2 weeks before the fight, and I had a broken
shit,
hand.
We're gonna get some fucking shit for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And
fuck COVID.
and I had a broken hand all camp, and I fought him, and I was beating his ass in the first round because I genuinely in my soul believed all right, well, I could probably knock this guy out. Even that sounds so stupid looking back on it and thinking about it. There's no doubts in my mind. Like, I just don't doubt myself, you know? So I'm like, I could probably beat this guy. Like, if I catch him with the right shot, like, he'll be done. And I caught him with those shots. And unfortunately, his chin was made of concrete. So I couldn't put him down, man. Like, you should see some of the shots I hit him with. Like, a lot of people would have been sleeping. And then I re-broke my hand. He cut my eye. It was just a mess.
So looking back on it, would you have done it or no? Would you have gone through with the fight?
Yeah,
you still would have gone through it.
Yeah, because what I learned from that, you know,
right?
Because like now I'm wiser to the fact, which it sounds so ridiculous to say, but I am wiser to the fact that something as serious like having super bad cardio issues and going into a fight with like a really damaged hand. What are you, like not even like half a man of a boxer? My hand's fucked up, my lungs are fucked up, and I'm fighting this.
What was up with your lungs?
COVID fucked my lungs up.
Oh, right.
Bad. So I'm glad it happened now to learn, like, hey man, like the eardrum thing, honestly, it was like it popped out like a month before the fight, maybe even a little less than that, and it just was like it just like sounded weird. But anytime sparring after that or whatever, never hurt. So I was like, I'm good to fight, you know? I am good to fight.
Right, yeah.
But with that whole COVID thing and like the broken hand and all that bullshit, I was not good to fight. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Probably shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I know now.
Right. What, like, you know, from promotions, you can't really, it's hard to pull out, right? Like, just.
Yeah, you just don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy.
Right?
Yeah. Because a lot of noise goes around, like, yo, what? This guy just backing out. Yeah. What's up with them?
They all talk, right? They all talk, right?
Do they talk in Vancouver about, like, is there that big of a scene? Like, because from what I've heard, dude, the boxing scene in Vancouver is still growing. It's not that big yet.
Yeah, it's not.
But is there still chatter? Like, can you still hear it around gyms, you know, different promotions, different fighters? Like, yo, like, this, you know, like, he's got a soft chin or whatever.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. There's a lot of guys. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but there's a lot of guys that people, like, there's like, if you bring his name up, everyone's like, oh, this about him or that about them, you know? But.
So if you were to pull out, everyone would, you know, that would be like a thing people would like.
I'm not worried about that, what people think, though.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't care. Because it's like, bro, you're always going to, like, I'm the fighter. I'm the one fighting my fight, you know? So it's like, no matter what you do, like, say you like have a shitty season in basketball or you're not doing well in training right now or anything. It's like people are going to talk shit about you, bro. There's going to be someone who talks shit about you. So if you can't handle that type of stuff, like, I don't think that you're the kind of person who should be performing, you know,
doing fucking anything, really.
You know,
yeah.
It's just like, it's just noise, man.
Right. So with the promotion and knowing, because, bro, boxing and like combat, like MMA, it's different in the sense that, like, you train for how long do you like train for a fight? 3 months?
Like,
4 months?
You kind of never really stop training, but like training camp would be like 8 weeks.
8 weeks, so 2 months.
Yeah.
So I kind of have the feeling, like, I watch how like Dana White runs the UFC or any type of promotion. When a fighter loses, it's kind of like, do you feel like they almost, like, it's a business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You lose, it's like, all right, you bye.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You gotta, like, you're down the pecking. You gotta come back up now.
Yeah. So the thing is MMA is actually a lot better with, like, their sport in a whole is better with accepting fighters who take losses, right? Like, say, you know, like Israel Adesanya lost his last fight. Like, are you gonna think, oh, he was never that good anyway, and blah blah blah, and this and that? But it's not really like that.
But he was defending champ he defended his shit for, like, I don't even know how long.
But the thing is if Floyd took an L, people are all gonna, oh, or, you know, like all these undefeated fighters in boxing, which I want to get into about that, is like boxing is kind of like once you lose that no loss, like, oh, everyone's like, oh, well, he can be beat. It's like, oh, so he's not that good then? You know, like you have to like, well, what about Bernard Hopkins? He lost his first professional fight. Guy's a Hall of Famer, multi-time world champion, multi-millionaire, you know, like Roy Jones Jr. has lost fights. Muhammad Ali has.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis, like, I mean, there's all these guys. Like, Floyd was kind of the one who made that a big thing, like never lost kind of thing. And everyone's trying to chase that. But it's kind of like, if you can't handle a loss, like you need to let a loss burn you. Like it should burn you, right? But never break you, right? And I think some of these guys hold on to that of I've never lost like so much that once they do lose, it breaks a lot.
Yeah.
Look at Adrian Broner. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he lost to a guy named Marcus Maidana. He was never the same. Another guy, there's a bunch of guys like that, right?
Do you think Floyd kind of fucked that up for everyone? That he like set that standard of being undefeated, and now people are, even Khabib for MMA.
Yeah. It changed the sport of boxing, him doing that. But that was his sales point, right? Because he knew everyone hates him. So he was like, well, I've never lost. So like people would watch Floyd to see him get his ass beat, right? And he would build it up. Like he knew he was building guys up that would make the public think this guy could beat me. He knew that's what he was doing every time, right? But Floyd knows, like, or at least, you know, he knew, like, I'm going to beat this guy. So everyone else is kind of, like, following that. But that was never always boxing before that, right? It hasn't always been that way.
You're almost supposed to lose in boxing at some point.
It's not like inevitable, bro.
Yeah,
if you don't,
okay,
if
I
you're
see
not
what you
like
mean.
perfectly managed and like hidden from certain guys, like bro, you're gonna run up against a guy. Maybe if you fought him 10 times, you'd beat him 9, maybe. But that one time, he beat you, and that was tonight.
Boxing's the type of sport. Okay, yeah, I see what you. That's
in
fighting,
general.
fighting,
any type of fighting, like you're gonna get clipped, you're gonna get caught. Like there's gonna be a night that isn't your night.
Fuck, man, that just makes me appreciate Floyd and Khabib so.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
That's like one of the craziest things. The fact that Floyd and Khabib both went undefeated in their sport.
Yeah, and if you look at the beginning of Khabib's record, like if you look at the guys that he was fighting at first, they were like nobodies. Like a lot of them, they had like a ton of losses and stuff like that, right? But he ended up at the very top, like killing these animals. Like dude was just beating Dustin Poirier, beat Conor McGregor. He beat all of them.
Just dusted them.
Yeah.
Like ragdolled them.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So respect to those guys.
I think that was really interesting what you were saying about how, 9 out of 10 times you'll probably beat somebody, but that one time, for whatever reason, there could be a lot of factors involved. But I think from a spectator's perspective, it makes it interesting too, because how boring would the sport be if it was so predictable that, as soon as that guy gets in the ring, every single time like clockwork, he's always going to beat that opponent. I mean, nobody would want to watch that either too.
Right. And eventually, I mean, that's been done already. Floyd already did that, right? So it's like, how many times do you want to see that? Where there's like, I would rather watch a fight where I'm like, who's going to win this one? Like when you see Dustin Poirier, I mean, going back to MMA, when you see Dustin Poirier fight, like, who was his last fight?
Chandler?
Or,
no, sorry. Was it Chandler?
Didn't he fight Chandler?
Yeah, he did. His last one.
I was like, dude, that's going to be a crazy-ass fight. Like, I don't know. I think Dustin's going to win, but who knows, right? But if you put Dustin Poirier in there with someone he's going to fucking beat him,
right?
Well, I'm not really that stoked about it. Tank Davis fought last night, who's Floyd Mayweather's prodigy. I mean, I knew he's going to win. I didn't watch,
Right.
I know he's going to win. Why would I watch? I already know.
They set him up to win, right?
Yeah.
Like
but now he's supposed to fight Ryan Garcia. I think he's going to beat Ryan Garcia, but you might, right. But someone else might think he's not. So that's a fight I want to watch.
Does Ryan Garcia piss you off? a little bit.
I mean, he just kind of seems like a TikTok kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course
Like,
he is.
He just
like,
seems
pretty
like that.
boy.
Yeah. Like
He's just too cute looking, you know.
Yeah. He has a weird fucked up attitude, I think, but
He's good though, right? Like you can agree he's.
Yeah, he can fight. There's obvious things in his style that he's gonna get caught for, right? Like he puts his chin up really high. He stands very straight up, right?
This is shit that you can see that like the average person watching.
Most boxers talk about that.
Right.
They know.
Okay,
right?
yeah. I wouldn't know that, by the way. I'd be like, fuck.
Right. Sometimes I forget that kind of
Cute
shit
guy.
too. Hey? Nice tats, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like.
So, but even with that, dude, like Tank and Ryan Garcia.
Animal, bro.
Yeah, he's
gonna take his head off.
So, so that's the thing. They're both undefeated. Now one has to lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're setting them up. You know. So if let's say Ryan Garcia loses, he's still gonna be he's not gonna. Do you think he's gonna drop like where people are gonna forget about him?
See, this is a thing where I'm saying like you have to let a loss burn you but not break you, right? Like, is that gonna break him? And then like, what are you now? You're damaged goods because you lost the fight.
Yeah,
you know, like that's like a huge real part of the sport, right? Because like when I lost, like I
Well, did you lose your last fight or
no the one before?
The one before.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that actually, but go on.
Yeah. So when I lost, like I was really hurt about it, really hurt, because I know I could beat that guy. I know I can, right? And I want to fight him again for sure, twice, just to prove I can beat him, you know. But like you can't. It's just like life, like in any situation, right? It's like you love something so much and you're attached to it, and then it just doesn't go your way, and you're like, fuck, man, you know. You don't start questioning, am I built for this? Is this for me? This and that. Like what you need to do is like take that and like let that burn become like desire and be like, I need to get better so that shit doesn't happen again.
It's so much easier said than done though, man.
Yeah, but I can only explain it. I couldn't show you.
Yeah.
So
okay, like kind of give it. Okay, I kind of want to know like the step by step after the loss. Like you obviously you lose.
Yeah.
You go into the locker room. Like what's
the
first? Because for me, bro, I told Henry and Migo last week. One thing that like if I was to ever fight in a ring or whatever, the biggest thing for me is, if I get fucking knocked out, I would feel a little embarrassed. Like, fuck, I just got fucking folded in front of my family and friends.
Yeah.
Right? I know they still respect, I know they still love me, I know they support me. But it's like an ego thing where it's like, damn, I just got straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
But even like, so like after an L, do you like, what's the first kind of like emotion or thought that goes through your head? Like, is this sort of like, I let myself down and my team down, or is it, do you even not even think, is it sort of like,
the first thing is like, fuck, man, like I just let yourself down, right? It's like the team, of course, like you and the team are one, right? And like you're all, because they're the ones who are standing back there with you, and like you're all kind of just like sulking in like this fucking, and then say other people won and you're all in the same room or whatever, right? And they come back and you're sitting there and like they're all glorious and you're sitting there like, fuck, man, like I worked for that, I worked to win, and now I'm sitting here like a fucking loser, right? That's what you genuinely feel like a loser. You feel embarrassed, right, to see people after or whatever. And yeah, you just want to go home. Honestly, you want to start training again right away. That's like how I felt. But I had to like step back and kind of like re-game plan some things and have some talks with my coaches about like, hey,
just watch video.
Yeah.
Like, rewatch it, see what I did wrong.
And it was like, a lot of it wasn't that I think that guy's a better fighter than me. A lot of it was going into that with COVID and a fucked up hand and all that stuff. Like, no excuses. I showed up.
You never give yourself that excuse. Like
if I showed up to fight and you win, then fair and square, right? Healthy or not. If I showed up to fight and you won, fair and square, you beat me. Respect, right? I showed up. But I know on my end, like I didn't show up even like close to 100%, right? So I shouldn't have done that. So now I have to sit with the consequences of making poor decisions, right? And now it's like, okay, so what are you going to do to make better decisions? How are you going to restructure like everything and make sure that, because even my camp was all right too, and so it was a weird loss, right? Because it's not like, well, I was drinking and fucking around and blah blah blah, and then I just showed up, you know. It was kind of like a couple of situations that happened, and I felt like, well, I've trained hard, I've done what I should do. I feel like I could still take it home.
You think it was a bit mental? There were some mental things that you might not know you were going through.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, you're thinking, oh, well, forget about my hand and my lungs. There's something in my head that wasn't right too. You know?
I don't know. I don't think so, man. Because if that was the case, if I had a fucked up hand and my lungs and I was mentally not there, then I probably would not have shown up.
Yeah,
you know?
cut it, yeah.
But I was mentally there. That's what drove me to cut all the weight and show up, and you know, like,
right.
So, but yeah, it's tough. Like, and like I use that saying is like, I let it burn me, not break me, because it can break you, right? And change the way you're gonna fight next time. But I came back and I won my next fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be able to bounce back.
So the fact that it could change a fighter is a real thing. Like a lot of fighters.
Yeah, for sure.
Are never the same after.
Yeah, like certain losses, or like even like, especially if it's like a beating they take too. Like that guy, the first round of the fight, I fucked him up, but the rest of the fight, he was just beating my ass the whole time. I was just gassed out, broken hand. He just like beat my ass, and I just knew by the end of it, right? It's like, yo, this guy just beat the shit out of me for X amount of time. So. You know, it's like I had nothing to fight back with, just kind of stand there and take an ass beating. And so like, I could see that breaking some people, you know? And I know, like I've seen it in fighting where people get broken from taking beatings, right? So you just can't let that happen to you.
Right.
If you want to you have to like move past it, take the loss and just like move on. Because
also, yeah, like, bro, in a sport like boxing or MMA, like fighting, like if you get your ass beat, it's more than just an L. It's like it's like a manlyhood or woman. Like I'm not as strong as I fuck
your girl after.
Yeah, like you are a much more superior human being than me.
Yeah. It's
in that type of way. Like
it's fucked up, man. Like it can get to you, right? And then it's like it can get to you.
And then people talk, right? Like, yo, you got your ass beat, you fucking
yeah.
You know. And they have the right to like say that kind of shit. Like it happened. Dude, damn.
Yeah. But you can't, like, that's the thing, right? Like you just
it's
can't
also
let
like
it in.
Fuck you. Like I
showed up.
The fact that I went into the like you would never do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and even if you do that, like I don't really give a fuck what you think anyway. You know? Even if you are a fighter and you were in the stands and you saw me lose, like you don't know what I was going through to get there to that fight or anything like that. Why would I give a shit what you think? You know, you're not in my circle. So
right.
Yeah.
And people that are in your circle, they just after an L, all right, what are like damn, that sucked. You good, but like let's get back on the horse. Like it's not like
you
know,
they let me know, like, you know.
They're honest with you, yo, like this is like you gassed out.
Yeah.
You faded a little bit. We just gotta like it's very like strategic. Like it's not like oh man, I don't know. Like it's like, okay, this is where like in round 2 and 3, this is where you started fading. All right, like we gotta.
And I have like a really good I have a really good support system around me too, right? Where I have good close friends and like also Ryle, my brother, right? Like he's like my twin, you know? Yeah. So like when I take a loss, it's like he took a loss and he's like right there with me, like, nah, man, like he'll talk me through it, and you know, like he's I'm super blessed to have both.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He wouldn't care if you lose. That's the thing.
No, he cares. Like it hurts him, but he knows like don't be a fucking.
No,
quitter,
yeah,
don't
that's
be
what
a
I mean.
pussy,
Like
you're good, right?
Yeah, not like oh man, you suck, or like it's like yo, I love you, man.
Neither
like
of my brothers. Yeah,
no.
I'm blessed both to have those guys in my life. Like those are my two number one people in the world. My brothers.
That's so fucking sick, man.
Yeah.
So, okay, going back on the loss, I just want to talk about it a little bit more. So, the first few days, obviously, you're chilling. You know, you're recovering.
Yeah.
And then you get back, and then what? How long after was your fight after that?
November. So July, I think that one was in July, and then the one after that was in November. So I had to like kind of step away for a minute and like regroup, let my hand heal a little bit, and then we went back into training with some of my older coaches that I used to train with back in the day, and they kind of helped out with the fight. But it was so crazy. So for that last fight that I had, there was one of the like the team I trained with, basically one of them got like really sick and he couldn't show up to the fight, right? And I was like, fuck, man. That was the second time that's happened to me, by the way. The first time was when I took that loss, that one of my coaches didn't show up. And then so I got a different team and a different coach, and he got COVID and he couldn't show up.
Yeah.
Or he was sick. He was sick with something, and he was like, I can't be there, like, and he's an older guy, right? And so like my very first coach I ever had, just like the night before, showed up to the fight and coached me through the fight.
What the fuck?
So I texted him like, yo, I got another fight.
Is this your main guy? Is this your main coach? Like, is he
yeah.
Like, he actually like gives you like instructions?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Bro, that would be enough for me to like
not
get out.
Show up.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. But it's a tough fucking sport, bro. It's tough, man. It can be really tough.
No, not to talk shit about your coach, bro, but like, what the fuck?
He's an old guy though. He's
gotta
got,
show
like,
up.
Cancer and.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Damn.
I didn't say that before, but
yeah,
so I understood it, right? I understood. I was like, fuck, like he's not doing well. Like, fuck. Now it's like this is happening again, right?
Damn. So, also, do you feel going into the last fight you had a little bit more pressure on you because you know how it works?
Yeah.
You lose 2 in a row, 3 in a row.
That's it. If I lost 2 in a row, like at the level of boxing I'm at right now, what are you gonna do with me? You're just gonna use me to set up your other fighters to win off of, right? You're gonna try to put me in mismatches so I get my ass beat. So that
do you have any say in any of the fights you?
Yeah, of course.
Like you actually have a like a word.
Yes, no, yeah, for sure. But it comes down to like, so it can be tough, right? Because so what happens is, let's say like 3 months out before the fight, they'll be like, oh, we have 3 guys that you could possibly fight. It's like, okay. So they'll ask them and see who's available or whatever. Then it comes down to 2 guys. Then it kind of comes down to 1 guy. And then that 1 guy, it's like, well, do you want to fight or no? And it's like, well, yeah. So it's like you kind of do or don't have a say in the sense like in that, where it's like you can say yes or no. You know? I'm not really at that level where I'm like picking people and, you know?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get to a point where I'm established. So when they give me a guy, I'm like, I'll beat his ass. What day? I'll fight him.
So I see what you mean. Like you can actually, right?
Yeah.
So what do you look for, like, at your level? I don't know if you can like disclose this or say anything about it, but like, what's something you're kind of looking for, like
in an opponent?
Yeah, like as in like to build you up. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's for you.
Yeah.
Like when they give you 3 fighters. Right, like
that's like management shit. That's not really
management, huh? You have a whole team for that.
Yeah, like other guys are kind of setting all that up. That's not. I'm not really the one to go into all that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is though, like your coach, like a big part of his job is to keep you safe at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, I have a really good team around me. Actually, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there teams where they're a little off with that kind of shit?
Yeah.
Have
I've been a part of it. Yeah.
Oh,
where
shit.
this one guy, I'm not going to say his name, but they wanted me to go fight up some, like in the buttfuck nowhere. And I was like, no, I don't want to go up there. Like drive all day to get up there and come back. And this was like when I was an amateur boxer. And like it was just like the shadiest shit ever. And so he calls my other coach, because there was 2 coaches running the gym at the time. And I don't want to get too specific into details because whoever's watching is going to know who I'm talking about. And he called him and he said, hey, if Rhett doesn't come to this fight, we're not letting him back in the fucking gym anymore. So he has to come. And I was like, what the fuck? Really? Like, you're going to do me like that? Like, so me and that guy drove up to go, fight this guy. And I weighed in for the fight. And the guy that I was supposed to fight wasn't even there. And I was supposed to make weight, right?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to make weight. And he goes, how much do you weigh? And I was like, oh, I'm on weight. Don't worry, we're good, And he's like, no, like, what do you weigh? And I think I weighed like 152 or some shit. I was like, I'm 152. And he was like, oh, you should eat. And I was like, why? I'm on weight. And like, this is like the day before or something like that, or the day of the weigh-in.
What were you fighting at? What was the
152? So I was like, I'm on weight. And he was like, no, you could probably put on a little extra weight though. I think that the guy that you're going to fight is going to come in a little over. So don't starve yourself. Right. And I'm like, all right, like, cool, let's do it. Like, I'll put on another 2 pounds or whatever. Like, boxing is really specific about 152. Or if you're going to fight at 152, you better be 152. Right. So that was kind of shady and whatever. So I show up to the weigh-ins and the guy's not there. Right. And
Sick.
I'm like, where is this guy? And they're like, oh, he's weighing in later and shit like that. And we were going to be the main event. And I was like, well, I want to see his weight, So I'm like waiting around for him for a while and he never showed up. And then when we get there, I'm like, yo, this guy's fucking huge, man. Like I'm tall for my weight class. Like I'm really tall. He was like taller than me and bigger than me. And I was like, is this the guy I'm fighting? They said, yeah. And I said, so I weighed in at 154.7. I remember that number like in my head. Cause I said, what did he weigh? And they said 154.7. I'm like, no, that's what I fucking weighed. They said, no, that's what he weighed. And I'm like, what was this whole reason?
They used your
bring
weight.
me up here for this guy to
Was
beat
he
my
actually
ass.
154.7 though?
There's no way.
He was like
he weighed the exact same to the dot that I weighed. There's no way.
No way, right? So what do you look like? 170? Like 160 at least?
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but he was definitely bigger than me. And he was like my height, Like I'm tall for the weight class, so I'm usually skinnier and taller than the guys.
Right.
And they're usually shorter and more jacked. But he was like my height.
Yeah. That's one thing I heard about you. Like you're very like your length and your size is huge like advantage.
Yeah, it can be a disadvantage depending on the ring, but it's an advantage for me right now. Yeah. For sure.
Does 5 pounds make a difference? Any kind of realistic difference in a fight with someone between 2 people?
That's what I always thought, man. I'm like, is it really that big of a
The thing is like probably not between me and you. Like how much do you weigh? 210 or whatever, right? So
208, baby.
Right? Or
Come
like,
on now.
But
Come on now. At 210.
Yo,
my fattest, I was 220.
Were you?
Yeah. You didn't. Yeah. Fuck.
You're fucking getting up there. You had the love handles and all that, hey?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
bro, this guy, he's like, yo, you got thicker.
You told him that?
No, you told me that, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you did, bro. You put on some weight, man.
Appreciate you, man. I don't know if it's a good weight, but
it's all right.
It's a bit of both. Yeah, like you said.
Man. It's a bit of both.
But yeah, is it like?
Oh, so yeah. So between professional fighters, yeah. Between fighters, yes, it matters. But between the average guy, it doesn't fucking matter.
Why between pros doesn't matter?
Because it's like you're fighting someone who's like a really like say we both have the same skill, but you're just like 5 pounds heavier than me.
Okay, that makes sense.
Eventually it weighs on someone.
Right,
It's like there's a reason that there's so many weight classes. There's a reason. It's just the skill plus the weight, and there's a lot of factors, I believe, Maybe 5 pounds isn't the biggest deal ever, right? But like,
would you ever take a fight on that? If a fighter was,
I have. I showed up to a fight, my fourth amateur fight. I was 146 pounds, and the guy that I fought was 162.
what the?
Yeah, bro.
You win?
Yeah.
So in that case, like,
We weren't both not that, like, I mean, I had previous training, you know what I
Right.
mean? And
How tall are you?
I'm about like 6'2".
So
6'2".
and you said you were 146 then?
Yeah.
damn, man, you're
That's really, really thin.
Bro, you should see
Bro,
pictures of me back then, like super skinny. You remember me?
yeah.
I was super
You're always
skinny.
thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thicker.
You
I'm
look
a little
thin
thicker
now too. But
Yeah, I am. I'm always thin, but I was like really thin back then.
damn, 146 at 6'2".
Yeah,
Dude, does
some
it ever
crackhead shit.
piss you off when? Oh, cause I want to talk. Fuck, like Jake Paul, Logan, all these like YouTubers and shit.
Yeah.
They get these, these contracts, all these eyes on them. Does it ever bother? Like, there's dudes out there grinding, like yourself.
Yeah.
Really going through like the trenches to get, but the thing with Jake Paul, he's actually good. From what I've heard, he's actually
Well, what's good though, the thing is like,
who's he fought? Yeah, I mean,
okay, well, he's fought guys, and this is the whole thing where you can make arguments, right? He's fought guys, but the thing is like a fighter who's 45 is completely different than just a regular man who's been working out his whole life who's 45. Like a guy who is a world champion fighter and he's 45 years old. You know the kind of fucking damage that his body's gone through, man? Like training camps, insane fights with the best fighters in the world. And then now you're a young kid and you want to fight him?
so you're supporting Jake Paul? You actually
No. What I'm saying is he's fighting guys like Anderson Silva and fucking Tyrone Woodley and these guys who are like way past their prime and they fought at the highest level of their sport and he's beating them. It's like, yeah, bro, these guys are fucking done, man. Like more than done. It's not like they're just fighting a 40-year-old. They're fighting a retired fighter who's in his 40s. Like those
Right.
guys' bodies are fucked, man.
Yeah.
Brett, have you seen Rocky Balboa? You know that last Rocky movie where he's like he's running a restaurant and then he's like, I think I could still do it.
Yeah.
I think Stallone at the time, it was in his he was like 62 or something like that. But that was, I mean, it's obviously a movie, but there's something really appealing about a guy at that age coming back, training so hard to try to compete with somebody that's younger. And even if they lose, there's something about that underdog story of a guy, an older guy, a more seasoned guy that's taken a beating to come back and still do some damage too. There's something fun about that too.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. That's a whole side to it. And I respect those guys for doing what they still do. But the thing is, like, Jake Paul is making a name off of beating the shit out of retired fighters. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, those guys are not good to fight anymore
But
at all.
if you take a step back and look at Jake Paul objectively, do you think he's a good fighter? Or do you
But he's definitely better than the average person. But
Right.
like, as a professional boxer, bro, like, fight a professional boxer, like an actual professional boxer your age, bro, and see. Let's see if you're good. Like, prove it. Don't fight some old fucking. Now he wants to fight Nate Diaz. Did you see Nate Diaz's last fight?
Yeah, it was.
Bro, that
I
guy's
love Nate
been
Diaz.
done.
I love him, but
He's been done.
yeah, he's toast.
When he fought
CTE to the max.
dude, when he fought Leon Edwards, he got beat up so fucking badly the whole time. It's like, what is
It
this
was
guy
bad.
doing?
It was really bad.
And then he just fought Tony Ferguson, and those guys are both shot.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that
And
was
it's like
just
that was like a good fight for the UFC to say goodbye.
the fans and
right?
yeah.
It's a good fight for them.
Yeah.
But now you got Jake Paul, and he goes to weight classes that are like 20, 40 pounds lighter than him to fight these like washed up fighters. It's kind of bitch made, you know?
A little bit, yeah.
It is. It's bitch made. Like you're piggybacking off of legends, bro, because you can give them some money because you know they need it. That's bitch made, in my opinion. You know?
The retired fighters though, man, they're accepting it though.
They need the money.
Do
What's
they
the
though? Does
glory-
Nate Diaz really need the money, or Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva. Like these guys
These
guys have the bag though, but
not really.
Not Tyron.
What do you think they get paid?
Nah, yeah, I guess. Yeah,
dude,
UFC's.
they're getting offered a couple mil to fight some whatever.
Right.
What's the glory in beating
Ben
Jake
fucking
Paul?
Askren.
Yeah, bro. Dude, that guy can't even strike at all. But what's the glory if like you beat Jake Paul in a fight? Like what is it? You didn't beat a champ. You didn't beat a champion. You didn't beat who the fuck is he? In the fight world, right? It's the money. People are putting money up to these fighters to drag them into these fights with this young guy who's beating the shit out of them.
Does that bother you a little bit with like how the direction boxing is going towards, bro? Like it's a lot like WWE vibe.
Yeah.
Where, because dude, after Floyd retired,
it changed, right?
Bro,
Yeah. It's just like
the
not
hype just went down.
Way down.
The last hype fight I remember was McGregor and Floyd.
Mayweather. Yeah.
After that, bro, you have
to be like a boxing enthusiast.
Yeah, like I didn't know Tank Davis was fighting last night. I didn't know until I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, oh fuck, this guy just won.
I know.
Is it like? Do you think it's part of it's because of like guys like Jake Paul, or is it MMA's getting so big? You know,
it's like a mixture and it's also like where we live at too, right? Like if you were down in the States, like there's parts of the States where like boxing's religion, right? They take it serious, but up here in especially in Vancouver, we're like an MMA city. We love UFC, we like MMA, we have GSP, we're Canadian, you know, like it's different, right? It's different, right? So, but yeah, and that's like another thing going back to that whole like losing your O thing, right? Like a lot of guys won't fucking fight each other in boxing because no one wants to lose.
Right. They don't want to get rid of the...
It's getting boring. And that's why MMA is winning, because Dana White chooses who you fight. He goes like, no, man, you're fucking fighting this guy. And they're like, all right, how much? That's like how that goes.
I didn't think of it like that. Dana actually chooses. And
pretty much. Like him and his team.
Him and his team, yeah.
If you say no too many times, like, all right, you're not getting another opportunity.
Right. So in boxing, you can...
At the level that Davis is at, he's probably running the show pretty well. You know what I mean? Like he's saying yes.
He can pick and choose.
Yeah. And his team is all eating off of that one guy's plate. So they don't want him to lose, right?
Right.
They're all trying to make sure he doesn't lose. And that's the same as Ryan Garcia's team. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all like that.
I feel like there's a lot of sneaky shit that goes into boxing. Fucking like you know the movie fucking Southpaw.
Hell yeah, bro.
Where Jake Gyllenhaal starts losing, and then 50 Cent just fucking says, "Yo, buddy, you're losing. Like fuck off. Like you're not."
That's what I'm saying. Like if I took 2 losses in a row,
that's what. Yeah.
You know, at the level I'm.
That was
right
fucking with you a little bit. Like that was in your head.
It didn't fuck with me, but I knew. Like I was like, "Okay, there's no option. Like I'm not losing. There's no option.
I can't lose. Like I can't afford to lose."
Yeah, like there's no losing, right? It's just go this way and win. That's it.
Right.
That's how I felt, right? And like with my promotion team, I'm close with them. They're like the best team you could have, right? Empire Boxing Promotions. They're the best team you could be with. But they probably would still get me fights and stuff like that, but I mean, if I lose 2 in a row like that at the level I'm at, they're not looking at me like, well, you know, let's main event this guy or let's make something out of him or let's invest money into him. No one's going to want to do that. Right. So it's like, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I get it.
I get it too. And that's what's fucked up because I'm the product.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I understand both sides of it. It's like I have this dream that I want to be a fighter and like I want to prove myself, and I understand the business side where they have to deal with. Right? So it's like you have to be realistic with yourself.
Right? Well, that's the thing I think a lot of people forget too. It's, you know, as fun as it is, I mean, it is a business. There's a lot of money involved with this stuff. I mean, with any sport too.
Yeah.
It's got to be, they've got to hit all the areas. You have to have good talent. You have to have, you want to make money from it, and there has to be something for the fans, for the spectators that are actually watching this stuff too. And it's show business, not show friends, right? As they say.
That's exactly it. He's got it on the money.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would it have to take? I always think about this. Like, what would it actually have to take for you to be on Tank Davis level? Like, how many is it a matter of win, like you rack up like a 20 fight win streak. You go somewhere and fight a big name in like LA. Like, what does it actually take? Because I don't know what.
Well, there's two ways that you become like a success in fighting, from what I understand, right? There's the build up the record, like you said, like the 20 win streak, blah blah blah, all this shit, and then there's also how Nate Diaz did it. I mean, he was always kind of a big name. His brother was a bigger name, but when he got the opportunity to fight Conor McGregor, he beat him. That changed his life. So if you beat the right guy, that'll change your life. Just that one fight, you know? It could be one fight, but that could change your life.
So who's the guy though? Like, is there, like, obviously you can't call out Tank Davis right now.
So the guy for my weight class would be like Canelo, Caleb Plant, like those guys. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Yeah, like the heavyweight guys.
Alex, you know who Canelo is? Okay, right on.
Sorry.
It's all good. So like those guys, or Caleb Plant, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. So obviously you can't.
But I'm lucky.
Right now you can't call him out.
Of course, I wouldn't be that ignorant. You know?
Right.
That would be ignorant to do shit like that. But I do believe that I'm gonna get to that level where I'm gonna be having face-offs with those guys. I'm gonna be fighting these guys, and it's gonna be me at the top. Like, you have to believe that. You have to believe, like,
I love that.
You're gonna make it.
I love that.
Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. Because you're gonna end up in there with someone who does believe that, who does train like that, and they're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be me.
So what's the roadmap like for you to get there? Because I'm genuinely wondering in the sport to get to that face-off with.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, for me, it's hard for me to say exactly, because like that's a whole business side of it that I could sit down and have a talk about, but to break it down in the simplest form is like, I need to be doing my best every time that I have an opportunity to get into the ring, to show people who want to push me forward, that can get those connections, that I'm worth doing it for.
Right.
That's as simple as I can make it from the fighter's end, right? Business-wise, with those other guys, they would probably break it down to you differently.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're all connected. Like, all these businesses, like
Everyone knows
they're all
someone.
connected with like Canelo's dudes. Like,
yeah, dude, I met Canelo's brother like not that long ago. He was in Vancouver. One of his guys, I sparred with one of Canelo's sparring partners.
Right. So it's
like,
smaller than you know. Like, the community is like.
It's really true when people say, like, what's that saying that everyone knows each other through what? 7 extensions of someone or something like that? He'll know.
6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees of separation is like true as fuck, man.
Damn,
it's
what?
True.
I've never heard that. That's kind of cute.
So it's like
6 degrees of okay.
Yeah, so it's like you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows Tom Cruise.
Right.
And it's not that far away. You know what I mean? So it's like the world really is that small. If you are focusing and aiming yourself at something, you will end up there.
Right.
You will.
You've already decided, you already know in your head that it's happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how and when.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
it's just the timing. I used to be super stressed about that too. Like, stressed about the timing of things and this and that, but I have to let go of everything I can't control and just like work on what I can control and make it happen on my end.
Yeah,
go on.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, so when I come to the table, I'm like, this is what I got.
Right.
Was
one of the things that ever got to you was your age? Because, there's, I don't know what the prime in basketball, you say someone's in their prime around 28, 29, even 30. I mean, the way like LeBron's, like, he's fucking in his prime still 38, right? So like it's moving forward. Like, you can be 33, 34 in your prime still, right?
It's the same with fighting too, though. I believe, like, honestly, dude, like, fighting back in the day was like 25, you're in your prime. There's no way I was in my physical prime when I was 25. I'm a way better athlete now, even a couple years later, So there's no way. And I just feel myself getting better and better and better. So I did believe, like, in the beginning, I was like, man, like, I got into this shit, like, boxing late, you know, I turned pro late, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But look, man, you have one shot at something. And if you're going to do it, don't bitch about it the whole time. Just do it. You know?
Eyes closed, just jump into it.
Or, make a plan and go. Like, just, I have my people, I have a team, I have a gym, I have coaches, I have all the stuff I need to be successful. So, get to it. Don't bitch about it.
Man, I love the fact that you say that you want to be one day up against Canelo. Because someone listening to this right now is going to be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, this
like,
kid's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, what this
or
fucking
even
guy.
People that know me probably.
Yeah,
you know?
and bro, I just don't understand that. Like, I can't relate. Like, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't want to think that way
level.
about yourself. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, like, with this pod, I want Tyler, the Creator, on. You know who that is, right?
Of course.
Right? Maybe one day the weekend.
Yeah.
And people are like, dude, that's never happening.
It's like,
I just don't like that. I don't know what it is. I can't relate.
Yeah, at all.
It's weird. It's like a weird thing. Like, especially now, bro, like, there's so many ways you can get in contact with someone.
Yeah.
Right?
Have it all at your fingertips. That's the thing too, is like, man, fuck, like, if it was the 80s and I was trying to get shit going, like, it wouldn't even be close to the same as it is now.
Right.
It's so different, man. Like, we're in such a good time to just do whatever you want to do. But there's a lot of people, there's the majority of people who talk like that, they lack two main things: self-discipline and self-belief. Right? And so they don't believe they could do it. They're not disciplined enough to do it. Why the fuck could you?
Right.
Is that just your personality, or did someone help coach you?
Like, you're like,
no,
you gotta have, I guess, to some degree, like, you gotta have a bit of that in you, right? Like, that has to be part of your personality, because your skills are only going to take you so far. We've talked about this before with other people that are into MMA and stuff like that. There's skill, but then there's the other half of the equation, essentially, which is your attitude and your work ethic. Right. And I don't know if you can really learn that. Maybe somebody can help coach you and you can improve somewhat, but like, I firmly believe there's certain soft skills that you have that you can't just take a course. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about that.
Me, myself, or people in general?
Well, yourself, I mean.
Well, you, like, were you always like this? Like, your general attitude,
so
your approach?
Your mindset where it's happening and I just don't give a fuck. Like, I genuinely could not.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, me and all my brothers are like that. If you sat them down, they would speak exactly the same way that I do. And it's probably from my parents. Yeah. It's probably from my parents. You know, they raised us to be that way, to
just hard-nosed motherfuckers,
don't feel bad for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel bad for yourself about shit when it's not going your way. And my dad is like, yeah. My mom was always, so my mom is a very, like, don't fucking feel bad for yourself. Don't bitch and complain. Don't this and that. Like, just go do it. Right? And my dad is a very huge self-belief person, actually. That is actually true. He is. Yeah. Like, yeah, he would say things to me that would, like, he would say things to me like, yeah, you're going to be like that, or you could be like this, or you could be like that. And I guess that must have something to do with it for sure. Right? He probably did build that into me. Like, because he genuinely believes that his 3 sons could do anything in the world. Like, he genuinely believes that. That's actually what he believes.
Yeah, there's a difference between saying it and thinking you believe it, and really deep down.
Yeah. Like, he really, core. Bro, if you had him
weird,
here,
like, delusionally, like, weird.
Yeah.
Like,
but dude, like, but how do you get to level, like, I'm not saying you need to be delusional, but, like, how do you get to levels?
You kind of do, though, bro. You kind of have to.
No, I think you need to be more in touch. I think that's what it is, like, in my opinion. You know, more in touch with yourself, like, not more delusional. You need to be more in touch, like,
maybe delusional isn't the word, but like, almost, you know, when you say something enough times, you actually start believing it. Like, your mind actually,
like the book, like books like Think and Grow Rich and all those types of books.
Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, I remember, I was saying this phrase the other day. I kept saying it just, like, over and over, and then naturally I felt like my body and like my mind was like becoming that thing.
Right.
Right? Like in my head, bro, I don't know, man. Yeah, I love that you say that. I love the fact that you say that you want to, and it would almost like piss me off if you said, "Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's tough, bro. Like Canelo, like, man, I don't know, like that. You gotta have a lot of luck to do that. Like, it's just I don't.
I don't believe in that.
You know, especially, bro, because we're like around the same age, so we've had enough life experience to like know that like this life shit, man. Like, you know, it's tough. Like, you guys just got to go for it.
Yeah, especially if you have like if you have dreams and you're really passionate about something, man. Like, you know, I've had hard times like where I've struggled with, well, I could make a lot of money if I wasn't training, right? Like there's certain things I could do to make way more money if I wasn't boxing because I have to go do this training camp now or this or that, right? But you have to have a conversation with what they say is like the man in the armchair, like your old self, right? Like, are you going to be happy that you made that more, like that couple extra $100,000 or whatever you're going to make? Or are you going to be happy that I went for what I'm passionate about, what I'm obsessed with, what I think about, what I care about? Those are the people that I want to be around, people who are like chase their dreams. And that's why I'm like, you know, like chilling here on the podcast and, you know, like you have shit going on, people have shit going on. I don't fucking hang out with people who don't want to have anything going on.
That's another thing too. Like,
you know,
just, you know, yeah, because I'm just so over that mindset where like if someone came up to me, a kid, and that's the thing too, like if you told me like, yo Mo, like I want to be in the NBA, I'd be like, I don't know, bro, like that's not happening. Okay, that's just, you know, it's probably not gonna happen. So but it also makes sense that like I could see you have the intangibles, right? So then it's just, do you ever doubt yourself though? Has there ever been a moment?
Of course, man. Like I'm just a person. Like I'm just a guy too, right? Like I'm not. Of course, like you doubt yourself and you have shit that creeps in sometimes, but like work eliminates doubt, right? So when you do the right things and you're working on the right stuff, doubt goes away. In my experience, that's what works for me. You know, so.
One more thing, bro. Because I'm in like I'm a psychology major and like I'm very big on mental health. With head trauma and getting hit in the head, bro, in boxing, do you ever think about that? Like CTE?
That's always in the back of my mind, yeah. Of course. And everyone, it's in the back of my mind all the time, like even when I'm watching people spar, you know? I'm like, oh shit, like
that's gonna fuck him up.
That's not worth it, you know. Like, or chill, or you know. But the thing is like, it's kind of a part of the it's a part of the game that I'm playing, you know. So it's like, I can't let it consume me, right? But be aware of it. And if anyone around me, like in my really tight circle, was like, "Hey, Rhett, like, you know, I think that you're showing signs of head trauma or this or that or whatever," like I'm gonna take their word for it and like get on that, right? And take care of that, because I'm not gonna be drooling, like eating through a fucking tube when I'm older and shit because I wanted to fight people.
Right, you know? That's the thing.
Fighting's it's not gonna be my whole life, right? Like I have a finite, like small amount of time to make this happen, and then it's on to something else.
Right. Man, yeah, you can see it in like Nate Diaz, like he's deteriorating.
A lot of them, bro. A lot of Chuck Liddell, bro. Like a lot of those guys, those older guys are like fucked up, man. A lot of them. Tito Ortiz. Have you ever seen Tito Ortiz on YouTube, the Wordsmith?
No.
Bro, look it up. You'll laugh your ass.
He's the MMA guy. He's UFC. Yeah.
He's fucked, though. The shit that he says is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know if it's from CTE or whatever, but the guy's just a fucking mess. I don't want to
crazy.
Like that.
Bro, just recently, a couple days ago, you hear about the 18-year-old, the Asian chick that...
Oh, yeah. Died? What was that about?
I don't know. Apparently, her sister was implying that it was suicide.
Oh.
Fuck. So sad. And she's like, she was good, man.
You know what guys I see it in the worst in, man? Yo, I played football for a small amount of time, and I had the worst concussion I've ever had. I've been fighting a lot. I've never had the kind of concussion I had in fighting that I had from football. Fuck, dude. Like when you're not looking and someone
really worse than
throws their whole body into the side of your head. Shit.
It's like whiplash / fucking.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Shit.
I think football players have it the worst. I don't know. Maybe.
Bro, that's crazy though. Like, man, why are you searching up Chargers football? Oh yeah, like 90% of football players have CTE.
Yeah, it's brutal, bro.
It's fucked.
You see, what's his name? AB?
Dude.
Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Shit.
Weirdo, man.
He didn't seem like he always was, but then you see that hit that he took?
That was the one.
Changed him.
Yeah.
Changed him. That's like worse than any punch I could deliver to your head. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And that guy just like hit him so fucking viciously. Like,
the guy's a weirdo now, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the video. He's like with a doctor, dude, and the doctor's like examining him. This guy's just farting.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's just farting in front of him. Like, no, he's not even trying to hide it.
He's just alphaing
He's just
him,
fucking ripping it in front of this.
Didn't he pull his dick out in like Dubai or something at the pool or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy behavior, man. That's brain trauma shit for sure.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
Bro, okay. Is Rocky the best boxing movie ever? Like all the Rockies.
Here's the thing.
For me, Rocky 3, dude.
Killer.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Even with the Russian guy, Ivan Drago.
Yeah. It is.
Insane.
It is. Okay, here's the thing. Like I typically kind of talk a little bit of shit about Rocky and stuff like that, but I do love the movies. Like I do, but it's just like so insanely unrealistic that it's just like shit, yo.
Bro, the amount of hits he got in that.
Yeah, like there wouldn't be a Rocky 6, bro. There wouldn't be a Rocky 6. Rocky 6 would be him in a chair and like his kid like bringing him around the restaurant. And he'd be fucking signing autographs with his hand all fucked up.
Right?
There wouldn't be that.
But
it's a movie, I guess,
in the podcast I watched you fucking do, you said Southpaw, bro.
I liked it, bro.
Really?
You didn't like it?
It was good. It's just one thing.
Liked it, man.
Boxing movies are corny. Like they're all
as fuck. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was good though. Like it was very.
It was good. I don't think that they do. There's really not like that many good fight movies out, right?
No. What about Raging Bull? Robert De Niro?
Yeah, that one's like that's an older one.
Yeah,
too.
It's older, but
it's not even a boxing movie, really, though, right? It's just about a guy that's just a douche.
Oh, you know what's a good one, man? Cinderella Man. Have you seen that one?
I heard about it. I didn't see it. It was on TV the other day. I didn't watch it.
It's a fucking good boxing movie.
Who's it?
It's about a guy who was, I think they were in the Great Depression at that time, and he was fighting for his family, and that's like a true story.
2005? It was Russell Crowe, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was a pretty good movie, right?
Yeah, he's a G, too.
Yeah. Rocky's good shit, though.
I love Rocky, dude.
Yeah. I know, I talk shit about it sometimes, but dude, I watched this. Which one was it? Where was it, the second or third one? Where his buddy Apollo's beating his ass? And Rocky's like, tomorrow, man, tomorrow. He's like, there is no tomorrow. What's the matter with you, Rock? That just pumped me up. I'm like, I'm going to get my running shoes on right now. You know?
It's top tier motivation.
It is like the most motivational shit you could watch.
Do you know, I swear to God, the amount of people that travel to Philly that run up those stairs like Rocky did in the movie, people do that all the time.
Really, hey?
Oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big
so
deal.
iconic.
I would do that too.
I would do that.
I'd fucking do it.
So iconic, man. Fuck, I love that whole series. The later ones were like the one you were talking about, Alex. The one where he was like the old when he's like really fucking old. Those ones are kind of stupid. The Creed ones I don't really mess with.
The new one looks pretty dope.
Creed's good.
You like it?
Like Creed?
I like the Creed.
Dude, the second one was trash, bro.
First one was better.
First one was way better. The second one was so bad. I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro?
When he fought Drago's kid.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Yeah, he's like, this guy was the kid was raised on hate. It's like,
yeah, dude, stop.
Sick.
Stop.
Sick.
Stop.
Sylvester Stallone. Nah, but man.
I don't know. The new one coming out though looks like it's gonna be good. Actually, I think it will be.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies coming out in 2023. Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, that's
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy's a G.
Yeah,
Peaky Blinders is the best, bro. Everyone started getting that haircut and shit.
All right. Don't you have it right now?
Guy? Huh?
Don't you have it right now?
Mine's a fade.
Okay.
Well, I keep a skin fade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, man, fucking. There was one more thing I wanted to bring up. God damn it. I always forget halfway through. We'll just end it with Rocky then.
Yeah.
End that shit with Rocky.
Sounds good, bro.
Enjoy24, episode 32. Rhett Gibbons, pro boxer, on the pod. Thank you for coming, bro.
Yes, sir. Check out Empire Boxing March 3rd, Grand Villa Casino.
Yeah, let's plug that a little. So who you fighting when?
All that fight news is going to come out soon. But it's going to be on March 3rd, Grand Villa Casino.
I'm pulling up.
Dope.
I was trying to pull up to.
That'd be sick. You didn't even come to that last one, motherfucker.
Dude, I wanted to, but it was on November 11th, right? Or 12th.
12th.
I was in Calgary because my birthday's on November 10th. Yeah.
Right. All right, come to the next one.
I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
Because I love that casino too.
Yeah, it's dope.
Love that place. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me, man. This was dope.
Peace.
Peace.
Lit.